Hey everybody, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here, and I'm just hopping on real quick before I wrap up my Friday to share with you, or ask you rather. I'm here to ask you, are you seeing what I'm seeing out there in the world? I know that we're all here having our own unique perspective. We all have our own unique way that these current circumstances are affecting us. We have our own interpretations of what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're witnessing. And I just have this on my heart to share with you what it is that I'm seeing when I look out in the world today. Now, it's pretty easy to see conflict and frustration. We definitely have seen people arguing, and I've definitely had a number of people tell me that family members have been unkind to them, people they don't even know being rude to them on social media, for example. And there's a lot of divisions that are happening out there, at least whenever you first take a look around. But what I see, and this is what I want to bring voice to, and I want to invite you in to see it from this perspective. And let me know, do you see this too? Do you see this too? And let me know what it is that you do see. Drop some comments below to let me know. What I see when I look around is a bunch of people who care a lot. I've seen Americans stand up and show that they care in ways that I have not witnessed collectively. I don't even think in my lifetime, not this consistently. And although we can look at all the divisions and how we're standing up for different things, what I am seeing everywhere that I turn around, it doesn't matter if it's somebody that's advocating for wearing masks, or if it's people that are advocating for not wearing masks, if it's people that's advocating for Black Lives Matters, or people advocating for all life matters, whatever it is that people are standing up for and that they are taking action around and that they are bringing voice to, what I'm seeing over and over and over again are people who care. People who will do what is which is not what they would normally choose for each other. I see people wearing masks that don't even believe in wearing masks, but they do it for other people. I see people who are not of certain races that are being pointed out as being suppressed and victimized. And I see people of other races standing up and taking a stand for them, saying, I care about you too. And regardless if you're pro-mask, anti-mask, pro-red, pro-blue, pro-Black Lives Matters, pro-all life matters, whatever your thing is that you are promoting and you're giving voice to and that you're advocating for the world, I see you taking action as someone who cares about other people. Because if you didn't care, you'd only be focused on yourself. You would not at all be bothered by the choices of others, and you certainly wouldn't be trying to share your perspective with others so that others can see your way of seeing the world. We only do these things because we care. And there's a lot of accusations. This is another thing that I'm seeing, a lot of accusations and assumptions flying around about other people's experiences, other people's level of knowledge and awareness. There's a lot of assumptions being made about the intentions behind what someone's doing and what they're advocating. And I just want to clear all of that out of the way. Set those assumptions to the side. Peel back those layers on the outside, and underneath you will see people who are passionate and compassionate about other people. And maybe we're not all going about it the right way. We can all agree that we haven't had the best examples on how to communicate and how to have functioning, healthy, thriving relationships in our society and within our homes and all that sort of thing. But we can see congruently, what we can see consistently, what we can see behind nearly every single person that is out there raising their voice or raising their awareness in whichever way they are. When we take assumptions and we take expectations and we hold them over people who didn't agree to these expectations, who may or may not be in alignment with the assumptions that you're making about the person, what you're doing is shortchanging yourself from having a richer, more fulfilling, and peaceful life experience. The very thing that you're probably advocating for in the end for all of us, you are shortchanging yourself of in the process of going about it in a way that compromises your peace of mind. And it doesn't fully represent you. It doesn't fully and accurately represent the heart that I know you have on the inside that is causing you to make these posts, that gets you to not be able to hold your tongue, or gets you to say things in a harsh way because you just care so much and you want someone to hear you and know how much you matter and they matter. And that is a remarkable thing. And I'm here to acknowledge that within you. If you feel like you're one of those people who have been showing up and are getting exhausted because you've just been fighting so hard for what you feel is right, and you've been denied left and right other people validating your perspective and having more data thrown your way, showing you how you're wrong and they're right, it all gets very, very tiring. And I believe it's meant to tire us out. I believe that it's meant to exhaust us so that our egoic selves, our physical selves, will give up the fight. That doesn't mean you stop showing up. That doesn't mean you stop advocating. You just give up the resistance to other people's reaction to what you're bringing to the table. And you begin to self-source the validation that you would love to receive from the other person. And you begin to see yourself as a whole, complete individual, regardless of if you have that other validation or not. And from this point, you can begin to see the other person as a whole, complete individual as well. And when we start from this perspective, when we peel back those layers of what things look like on the outside, and we start with this base, common, fundamental realization that we're all fighting because we care, because we want what's best for one another, and because we want our own peace of mind, then we can start with that conversation first and foremost. And we can return to that conversation as often as needed. But as long as we're going about these kind of things, trying to resolve conflicts from a side of I'm right and you're wrong, or without embracing the humanity that's within yourself or within another person. And when you embrace the humanity that's within yourself, I'm going to be talking about this more over with my Patreon group. So if you're a patron, definitely keep watch, because I'm going to be putting a video probably tomorrow morning over there. And if you're not part of this conversation that I'm having over on Patreon, I invite you to join us, patreon.com/CK Rollins. I've been taking the 5 different energy themes of 2020, breaking them down one by one. The next one I'm going to talk about is how all of 2020 is going to be serving us up an ongoing invitation to connect more deeply to the humanity within ourselves and within each other as individuals. And this looks like a number of things. I'm going to go into it real deep with my patrons, but just to touch on it briefly with you here. When you get in touch with your own humanity, you have to face the fact that you are fragile and that your time here is limited, and that things like viruses or the decisions of lawmakers can, or other people who don't understand you, can cause potential harm and conflict for you. You have to come to face with that humanity that's within you. But when you come face to face with that humanity that's within you, you can also come face to face with the fact that we are also, as fragile as we are, resilient. We are resilient as we are fragile, and so are other people. So as sure as they are, as angry as they are, as forceful as they are, as rude as they are, as inconsiderate as they are, remember they're coming from that same place within them as well. To reconnect to the humanity within yourself, to recognize the fragility and the resilience that you have within you, leads you to being able to connect to that within the other person. And social media, all this distant conversation, it has all this distant space between us. We have lost touch with the humanity that lies on the other side of that keyboard, on the other side of that screen, on the other side of that telephone call or video conference. And 2020 is here to wake us up, to shake us up. If you have not noticed yet, we've been waking and shaken ever since this year got underway. It's here to wake you up and to shake you up, to get you back into your right place and your right non-place. And as you better understand your place within this collective humanity, and you better understand your non-place, and you better understand the humanity that's within the other person, then we can come together. We can start in this place of peace and commonality and humanity first and foremost. We can honor the fragility and the resilience within one another. We can set aside our egoic ways of wanting to express our concern by making somebody's day better or more enlightened or more aware. And we can begin to better honor each other and set aside our assumptions about someone's perspective or their level of awareness. And we can understand that each and every single individual on this planet is having their own individual spiritual experience, their own level of awareness, their own perception over what is unfolding. And it is for us to learn where we have authority and where we do not, and where others have authority and where they do not. So if you want to dive deeper into these, I invite you to join me over on Patreon. We are taking them one by one. You can join the beginning conversation. You can dive deep into the healing circle. It is totally up to you. It's all spelled out for you there. But I definitely want to know, especially if you've watched this far, what are you seeing when you look around the world? Because I'm seeing people who care a lot. And there's a lot of arguing over which way to go about expressing how you care. And I'm here to say, what if we stop judging the way that it's expressed and we start connecting to the humanity within each other and within ourselves, and understand that the only reason that anybody would ever show up in a out of alignment way is if there's something that they care deeply about. And if we better understand what people are caring about, then we can find those commonalities and we can begin to have a different conversation, even if we disagree. So I'd love to know, what do you see whenever you look around the world? What do you see whenever you look at the way that you're engaging with the world? Are you seeing a bunch of people who care, or are you seeing a bunch of people who don't care because they refuse to wear masks? Or they don't care because they're not listening to your statistics on why you think it's not such a good idea to wear masks? What if we set all of that to the side and we just realize we're people who care, and we began to celebrate that, and we began to make headlines that talked about that, and we started group discussions and Facebook groups about how much people care? It'd be interesting to see where it all leads, because that's certainly not what I see whenever I turn on my news outlets, or whenever I read the headlines, or whenever I tune into social media. I see a lot of people that are saying, how dare you? How dare you not care more like I do? And I'm here to say, what if we all care? What if that's the only reason that we're upset to begin with? And what if we can allow that upsetness and that contrast and that conflict to bring us to a place of commonality? And from there, we begin to find some resolution. Because as soon as I step into that commonality, I already start to feel resolved. And I want to know if you feel that too. If you want to know how to get to that resolution, join me over on Patreon. I'll drop some links below. And if you're feeling something different, I welcome the exploration. For those of you who don't know me, I love exploring mysteries. And if you want to dive into this mystery and explore it with me, and you're willing to be honest and share your thoughts, I would love to hear them. And regardless if you're doing enough, or you feel like you're not doing enough, or if you're standing up, or you're sitting down, or you're being quiet, or you're being loud, whatever it is that you're doing, just know that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing and needing to be doing during this American evolution that we have underway currently at the time of this recording. So I see you. I see your heart. I see you caring. And I see you also not having a lot of instruction and example on how to do this in a fully aligned way. And if you're looking how to evolve that conversation, that's what I'm exploring, and we can explore it together. So drop some comments below, share this with other people. I want to know, are you seeing what I'm seeing in the world? What is it that you're seeing? I'd really love to know. Thanks for watching. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, subscribe while you're here. Check out some of the other videos, or don't, whichever way. I still love you. And I'll still know that it is not that you don't care.